Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien speaking on Friday, or Saturday, pardon me, Saturday, February 16th. Well, we passed the Ides of March and we're looking to St. Patty's, huh? Green beer tomorrow. And we passed the Ides of March, and we didn't quite escape it this year. So here's a video on for New Zealand, a telling tale. I know you've been watching the events over in New Zealand, and you have CNN over there with their usual take on it, and Fox News, which their usual pro-Trump take on it. Anyway, both of those are bad, and most of the others, ABC, NBC, and CBS, are your typical American takes. But you don't get the situation there. And here's what I'm going to tell you, Americans, speaking as an alien from another planet, with a little different view on the situation here, okay? Did you hear the Kiwis over there? No, I doubted if it even went through your watermelon heads. But you should reread and re-look at those videos and the people that the American television networks are interviewing and hear them. Really hear them. And you'll understand where I'm coming from. And here's the situation, Americans. There was three countries that have something in common: the US, Australia, and New Zealand. You all came from a mother country, the British. Yeah, stuffy as they were, right? Anglo-Saxon. But look at the views that the three countries have developed. America, you developed a disgusting, deplorable view of people. You don't even consider human life. Australia, you're kind of in the same boat there. You still have the British way of doing things, and the British were not much better than you Americans. The Australians still carry that. But then again, look at Australia and New Zealand and the United States. The United States was a colony that was haphazard because neither James I or any of the succeeding kings wanted it. They just did it to put a buffer between the French and the Spanish, and to put all the separatists and pain in the asses that they had in the kingdom at the time and throw them there. Same with Australia. Australia was a convict place where you threw all the debtors and all the bad people from Britain over there. The Kiwis, on the other hand, that was a little island that nobody cared about. The British didn't care about those two islands, North and South. And people from Australia and other places settled it from the British, and they became their own separate things. I mean, if you talk to a Kiwi, you'll know what I mean. They're not Aussies, and they're definitely not Yanks. But what I'm saying, American, is the Americans, you guys have this absolute way of thinking: power, corruption, hate, greed, and dissatisfaction, with other things. And the other people don't work here, i.e., Muslims, Jewish, even Christians do not work here because of your situation with your country. That's a different story. In Australia, it's about the same way. They go with the British, the way the British function is the way the Australians function. If you go to England and, uh, say, Sydney and London, you won't find much difference there. But you go to Wellington, and I've been to New Zealand a few times, and they are very different. They view, when you talk to the people there, when the Muslims, and you look at the people that are Muslim there, that go to the mosque in New Zealand, did you hear their comments yesterday? They're not like Mrs. Omar or any Muslim that you hear here in the States. They don't have an anti-white or anti-this or that. And did you hear the Kiwis, the white sentence of the British talking about them? They said they hit us, meaning the guy who came. And by the way, he was an Australian national. He wasn't even Kiwi. So here you are. We haven't heard the whole facts yet, Americans, but I know, by the way, the Americans, by the way, if you interview any of those guys in New Zealand, the people that live there, the actual Joe Blows, and the Prime Minister herself, she had the right to condemn President Trump because he's the one that started all this mess. So here are what I'm telling you, Americans, is, did you hear the Kiwis? They hit us, and they are part of us, meaning that society has somehow or another come to grips with their differences. Something that you haven't here and you haven't in Australia. This is your alien signing off. Thanks.